28 years later promises the perfect balance with Cillian Murphy's role. More than 2 decades after he first sprinted through a deserted London in a hospital gown, Cillian Murphy is finally coming full circle in 28 years later. And while time and genre trends have evolved since the release of 28 Days Later in 2002, the return of Murphy's character, Jim, suggests that director Danny Boyle and writer Alex Garland have found the perfect formula to blend nostalgia, evolution, and emotional weight. Rather than simply rehashing the past, 28 Years Later promises to use Murphy's role as the linchpin for a new chapter, one that balances action and atmosphere, horror and hope, personal stakes and global chaos. When 28 Days Later first hit theaters, it redefined the zombie subgenre with its kinetic energy, gritty realism, and morally complex characters. Cillian Murphy's Jim was not just a protagonist but a symbol of fragile humanity. He wasn't a soldier or scientist, just a bike courier waking up in a world gone wrong. That vulnerability, that grounded perspective, made his arc deeply resonant. Jim wasn't just surviving. He was rediscovering what it meant to live in a world stripped of structure. Now, with 28 years later, Murphy returns, not just as an actor, but as an executive producer, giving him unprecedented influence over how Jim's legacy continues. This time, his involvement feels less like a cameo, and more like a carefully plotted reintroduction. And that's the secret. Murphy's role won't dominate the story, but it will ground it. He is not here to overshadow the new characters, but to enhance the emotional texture of the story through lived experience. The genius of this approach lies in balance. Horror franchises often falter when they cling too tightly to the past or abandon it entirely. 28 Years Later appears poised to strike the perfect middle ground. Jim's presence offers a connection to the original story, a continuity that will excite longtime fans. But he's also likely to serve as a catalyst for something greater, a mentor, a survivor, or even a tragic warning of what happens when hope fades. Speculation is already swirling about how Jim fits into the new world. Has he spent nearly 3 decades fending off the infected in isolation? Has he tried to rebuild some version of civilization? Or has he, like so many characters in this franchise, lost everything again and again? Whatever the case, Murphy's presence ensures the emotional stakes will be high. This isn't just about fast zombies anymore, it's about what the world has become and what happens when the original survivors must confront the consequences of living in it. Murphy's return also elevates the credibility of 28 Years Later as more than just a cash-in sequel. His career has soared since his breakout role in 28 Days Later. From Peaky Blinders to Oppenheimer, he's proven to be one of the most versatile and compelling actors of his generation. His decision to return to this universe isn't just fan service. It signals that something meaningful is happening in this new installment. There's also a sense of poetic justice to Murphy returning at this moment. In many ways, 28 Days Later was a cultural marker of post-9/11's dread, fear of contagion, and societal collapse. Today, after a global pandemic and years of real-world chaos, 28 Years Later has the chance to reflect our current anxieties in equally powerful ways. And who better to guide us through that metaphorical wilderness than the man who first wandered those empty streets?